How to know when you have enough experience to become a fractional sales consultant. This is a question that I get asked very frequently from people who are maybe newer into their sales career or into remote sales in general, and they're really questioning if and when they should go out and consult with other companies. And truly, if I let that belief persist of me needing more experience before doing something great, I wouldn't have been able to have made $194,000 in 5 months as a fractional sales consultant. Because believe it or not, even when you know a lot, you are still always learning. And so in this video, I want to address really when you can know internally that it is the right move for you to become a fractional sales consultant, so that way you have the highest odds of success. Just like I was able to see working with brands like consulting.com, Deal.ai, Flow Research Collective, Profit Singularity, and many other online coaching businesses, just to name a few, even one of the portfolio companies of Alex Hormozi. And similar to going out to the job market, right? You need to have experience to do those things. There's a certain amount of believing that you are capable to also go out and get those opportunities. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about one of the first 3 things you need to take into consideration before you consider or to know if you have enough experience to become a fractional sales consultant. So the first thing you need to take into consideration is going to be your sales experience. And what I mean by sales experience, and it's kind of this ominous question, tell me about your sales experience. People will say, I've got 15 years in this, 40 years in that. I've sold, $10 million, $1 billion of this. That's not what I mean by sales experience. What I mean by sales experience is your actual ability to persuade and influence people in real time. There are plenty of sales professionals who claim to have years and years and years and years, but really it was probably the same 1 or 2 years looped over 3 or 4, right? And so when I say sales experience, you have to know, or at least be very proficient in knowing how to move somebody's beliefs in real time. Now, if you're watching this and you're not from the world of remote sales, the whole concept of really moving and breaking beliefs may or may not be new to you. When it comes to the world of virtual sales, belief breaking is something that you do all the time because the sales cycles are so short and you're encouraging customers to make a decision today. And believe it or not, it is possible to become very proficient without needing to use a bunch of manipulative tactics. I've interviewed sales professional or really leading mentor or thought leader Michael Oliver a couple weeks back or months back several times on my channel to talk about this topic. If you're curious, check out one of his videos. But you have to be certain in your ability to know how to move somebody. And the reason why that is important is because as a fractional consultant, one of the best ways that you can make sure that you're setting yourself up to have the right kind of lifestyle that you're looking for is to focus on building remote sales teams, meaning there's no in-person involved. You can build and assemble a team of killers from a far away distance from all over the globe who are working productively for a company. If you've been a part of these, most likely if you're watching this, you've been a part of one, and that's a blessing, but you don't realize that there are plenty of industries and businesses that still do not have this whole innovation or idea of remote sales teams. It is a completely new and foreign idea to them. They don't know how to approach it. And that's where some of your value comes in, but we'll talk about that more specifically in another video. But you have to be able to know how to move somebody in real time. That's your sales experience. The first thing you need to take into consideration. The second you must take into consideration is going to be your product variety. And what I mean by product variety is how many different products have you sold during the duration of your career? And a lot of my success as a fractional consultant came down to the fact that I had just sold so many different products. I've been with 33, sold, consulted, and managed 33 different businesses over the last 5 years in the remote sales space. Now, that is absolutely mind-boggling. When I do the math on that, that's roughly 2 every 3 months that I'm going to. However, that did wonders as far as helping me better understand what good looks like. A lot of your value as a fractional consultant is to be able to step into an organization having seen high standards and you're bringing their business up to the level that they need to see the kind of results they want to see. For example, you most likely know that if you do 2 outbound dials a day for every single day, you're going to get little to no success when it comes to generating leads and closing appointments. You might realize that you need to have 150, if not 200 dials a day done to be able to get a sufficient amount of volume to be able to begin closing appointments and having real momentum as a sales professional. And just like that rings true, the 2 to 200 difference in all of your results that you might be able to produce, the same is true with businesses and organizations. They don't know what standards they should hold salespeople to. They might not be aware of the amount of volume that is needed to see the kind of results that they would like to see. And the consequence of that is a lack of sales growth. And that is why someone like yourself is so badly needed, to step into companies and raise their standards. There was a company that I worked with that had a dial KPI of 70 dials a day. And I was like, these guys are barely even working. The appointment setting SDR team, 70 a day. I mean, what do they do all day? And they're supposed to be all full time. So what I did is I stepped in and raised that standard to 150 dials a day. And just like that, changing nothing else in the business, the sales went up maybe 2x, 3x. That was just simply by improving the efficiency of the sales team. And so when I say sales product variety, it means how many different companies have you seen? How many different products products have you sold? How many different sales styles have you been exposed? How well-rounded are you in your understanding of sales, persuasion, and influence from market to sophisticated to unsophisticated? Now, don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to have worked for 33 different companies to go out there and do it. You don't even need to have worked for 5 companies to go out there and do it. If you've worked for one really good business, that is more than enough to begin. Because with one business, there's most likely others who sell a similar product or service. And if all you did was help the business next to you get as good as the company you used to work for, then that's a huge value. Think about people in the world of software development. If you were a software developer for Facebook and that's the only company you ever worked for, you're much more qualified to go be a developer for Google or a developer for school or other software platforms, simply because you worked with one place great. So you just need to have an understanding of what good looks like. Getting product variety will sometimes help. And then the third is going to be your confidence in yourself. And what I mean by confidence in yourself, it's your certainty and conviction and real drive to want. I'll tell you firsthand that there's no way you can convince anybody to do anything that you don't really believe in or you don't want to do. And that's where your belief and confidence in yourself is really one of the most important things to get deal. As I like to tell in the program, Fractional Sales Consulting, there are 3 reasons why people buy. 1, they believe that you're credible. 2, they like you and they trust and believe in you. And 3 is that they think you can get them the actual result that you're promising. And notice that the result that you're promising is the least important of the because if they like you and trust you, well, they would rather lose with someone they really like than win with someone that they hate. That's just true. That's how humans work. If you've worked in sales, I'm sure you've had customers buy from other salespeople just because they liked them. And so this is where it's really important for you in yourself have that hunger and that desire for more to really go out there and get after it. If you haven't watched my 40-minute video where I talk about my start to finish of how I got to $53,000 a month as a fractional sales consultant, go ahead and check that out as well. But in that, I talk about really, I just had a burning passion and a desire for more. And that was something that carried me very far through my sales career. Truthfully, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have an irritation or a constant impatience for where I am and just a desire to strive for more. You know, you always want to seek excellence, continue to raise your standards and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And I'll tell you that opportunities that push you out of your comfort zone never come at a comfortable time. I'll say that again. Opportunities that push you out of your comfort zone never come at a comfortable time. Like I talked about in my story prior, when I made that jump from closer to sales manager, I was in a lot of pain and it wasn't comfortable for me to make that transition from what I knew into something better. And when I transitioned from sales manager into fractional consultant, it wasn't comfortable for me to do that, but I knew that I was in the pursuit of something better. And so you must look within yourself and really have that desire to learn more. I talk to a ton of sales professionals who are somewhat lost and maybe just have gone as far as they might believe that they're capable of becoming. And so some advice to know and really develop that certainty and confidence is get around people who are crushing it and get around people who are winning. You want to go out there and expose yourself to people who are leagues beyond you, and surely you'll realize maybe how small you are in your achievements. And some of you will be offended by that. Some of you will be inspired. I've always been the type to put myself in environments where I'm the smallest person in the room. If ever I'm at a dinner at an event and I'm speaking and everyone's listening to me because I have the most value to offer, I know that's a room that I should leave. I want to be the one who's part of the crowd listening from somebody who's done more and has been more significant. And so bringing this all home to the 3 things to know if you have enough experience as a fractional sales consultant. The first one is your sales experience. Like how many years you spent in an industry, rather how good you are at actually influencing somebody on the spot to do something and make a decision. 2 is going to be your product variety. And this doesn't have to be a ton of products, however that helps, but you have to have worked for a company that was really successful or very good at one thing and has a result that you could replicate to other companies that they might be interested in learning. You might not have been the most successful salesperson. You could have just been an appointment setter for a very, very successful company, maybe a portfolio company of Alex Hormozy, or maybe something who's part of Rudy Maurer, or a really large offer out there. But the point being is you know what the appointment setting operation looks like in such a huge brand and business that you can offer that to another business. Same thing if you're a closer. I know people who used to work for Eman Gaji and they have no trouble getting offers because, hey, if you got in and worked with Eman, you probably know something that I don't. I want to be like that business. The third one's going to be your confidence in yourself and truly your desire to go out there and make something great for yourself and go out there and reach and strive for more. If you don't actually have that hunger in you to want to go out there and do something beyond just what you're doing now, then you will not succeed as a fractional consultant because your value comes from your ability to embrace challenges, embrace resistance, and some of the overwhelm that might come with wrangling down a client and actually getting them results. And so if you're curious how to actually get clients results, well, I encourage you to watch my next video, which is going to be what you're actually doing as a fractional sales consultant. That will be linked at the title card right here or here, depending on, how this is oriented when it's produced. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.